Hi everyone, I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a Starlight bouquet blanket. It's divided into the main part of the blanket, decorations and lace trim. First, crochet the main part. Once completed, make and attach the decorations on top. Finally, make and attach the lace trim. Start by crocheting the main part. Begin with a magic ring, crocheting outwards in rounds counterclockwise. There are many stitch techniques used here. The chart will have corresponding markings, so I won't go through each one in detail. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. The original yarn is hard to see the stitches clearly when crocheting. To make it easier to watch, I'll use the original yarn for some parts and cotton yarn for other parts, with random colors for the yarn. You can first follow the tutorial to learn the crochet method, or practice with yarn that makes stitches easier to see. Then use the original yarn for crocheting later. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Start with a magic ring. Here I'm using the original yarn for demonstration. The final slip knot here can be pulled tight slightly. Then chain 2 as beginning chain. These 2 chains count as 1/2 double crochet. Let's get familiar with the chain stitch here. On the surface of the fabric, you can faintly see a V-shaped loop. Pick it up to take a look. It's these 2 strands, with a space in the center. We'll mark at the second chain. The yarn loop on your hook doesn't count as one stitch. Find the braid underneath, or simply find a space underneath. Clip on a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or paper clip instead. Then pick up the center of the stitch. Work 1/2 double crochet. After completing it, let's get familiar with the stitch. On the upper right side of the stitch pattern, there will be a braid-like texture forming a V-shape. With a gap in the middle. The 2 strands above and below the gap. These are the corresponding stitches. Meanwhile, underneath the stitch, there will be a small hole in the front of the fabric. Insert through the small hole. You can pick up the stitch. Which are the 2 strands forming the V-shape? Here one stitch represents one stitch. Continue downward to pick up the center of the stitch. Work 14/2 double crochets. If you can't fit more, you can move the completed part backward. Continue crocheting. Finally, check the stitch count. Count the stitches here. Start counting from the stitches below the hook. Note that the loop on the hook is not included. Here we have worked 15 half double crochets, plus the beginning chain. This round totals 16 half double crochets. Tighten up the ring. When the loop is not obvious, move the completed stitches. You can see 2 strands here. Gently pull the starting tail of the yarn. There's a moving loop. Tighten the moving strand. One loop remains. Pull tight the beginning tail. This secures the loop. Finally, work a slip stitch at the beginning chain mark. Insert the hook into the stitch marker's space. This picks up the current chain position. Pick up the side edge. There are actually 2 strands here. If you only have 1 strand when inserting the hook, you can reinsert the hook. Pick up the adjacent strand together. Crochet accordingly. After completion, the braid-like texture on the right side is the slip stitch. To prevent extra stitches, tighten it. This completes the first round. For the next round, change colors. Cut the yarn. Secure with 1 chain stitch. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. This is the side with the starting yarn tail. This is the wrong side. Mark any position on the right side. To easily distinguish right and wrong sides later, all subsequent work will be done on the right side. You can weave in a few more stitches. Hide the starting yarn tail using the same method. Complete this part on your own. Crochet round 2 downward. Pick up the corresponding yarn. I'll continue demonstrating with the original yarn. Refer to the color chart for color choices. Insert the hook into the marked position of the beginning chain from the previous round. The insertion point of the previous slip stitch. Then make a slip knot with the yarn tail of this round. Place it on the hook and pull through. Adjust slightly. Make one chain as your beginning chain. This is the turning chain for single crochet, it doesn't count as one stitch. Then insert into the same insertion position. Work one single crochet. Place the yarn tail above the hook. Crochet while hiding the yarn tail. Mark the stitch after completion. Use the same method to find the stitch here. First, locate the gap below the hook. If not obvious, poke with the needle. Then pick up the 2 strands next to the gap. That's the corresponding stitch. Then move left. Pick the adjacent stitch. Note that the stitch texture is not very clear here. Look at the stitch post of the previous row. Then insert into the corresponding stitch above and to the right. Work a single crochet increase. That is, make 2 single crochets in the same position. Remember to weave in the ends. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. Complete the single crochet increase. Continue picking up the adjacent stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet increase to the left. This round continues alternately with 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase. Continue crocheting downward. Complete the last stitch position. Please check the stitch count. This round has a total of 24 single crochets. After confirming the stitch count is correct, pick up the marked position downward. Join with a slip stitch. Then pull tight to prevent extra stitches later. Round 2 is completed. The next round still uses this color. Don't cut the yarn. Next, work round 3. Directly pick up the adjacent stitch to the left. Work 1/2 double crochet. Slightly enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Yarn over and insert into the marked position. The stitch on the left side. Crochet. No need to mark here. The stitch marker position from before can be kept. Continue working 3 double crochets in the same position. One half double crochet. I work 1/2 double crochet on both sides of the position, and centered 3 double crochets. Consider it as a group of stitches. Skip 1 stitch to the left adjacent. Slip 1 stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. No need to pull tight here, the chart indicates with an oval dot. Continue picking up the left stitch downward. Crochet a group of stitches, that is 1/2 double crochet. 3 double crochets. One half double crochet. Complete the pattern. Then skip 1 stitch to the left. Slip the next stitch. Work a slip stitch, not tightened. That is, do not tighten after completing the slip stitch. Afterwards, alternately crochet the pattern and slip stitches, not tightened. After completing the pattern, skip 1 stitch before working the slip stitch, not tightened. Meanwhile, look at the texture ahead. The patterns are all in the single crochet increases. Insert the hook at the first stitch position. The slip stitches, not tightened, are always inserted into individual single crochets. Continue crocheting in this way. After completing the last group of patterns, skip 1 stitch going down, reach the beginning position. Here, pick up the stitch marked from the previous round. Insert into the chain space marked by the stitch marker. Work 1 slip stitch, not tightened. The third round is complete. Change colors for the next round. Break the yarn. You can weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side by yourself, or weave in all ends after completing the crocheting. I won't remind you repeatedly later. From now on, to make it clearer, I'll demonstrate using cotton yarn. Next is crocheting the fourth round. Insert the hook into the chain formed by the slip stitch at the end of the previous round to join the yarn. That is, to the right of the stitch marker we marked earlier. Find the position of the slip stitch. If you really can't find the exact position, just insert the hook into approximately 2 corresponding strands. Then work 6 chain stitches as a transition. After that, move to the left. Find the slip stitch position, where you don't tighten the centered chain space between two patterns. Insert the hook and work a slip stitch without tightening. Then work 6 chain stitches as a transition. From now on, work slip stitches without tightening at the slip stitch positions. Insert the hook into the chain space, and work slip stitches without tightening, with 6 chain stitches as a transition between them. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting. Complete the last 6 chain stitches. Moving down to the starting point for joining yarn, insert the hook into the same insertion point. Work 1 slip stitch without tightening. At this point, the 4th round is completed. If the next round has dense stitch patterns, you can hide the yarn tail while crocheting. If the stitch patterns are sparse, simply tuck it to the wrong side. Handle the yarn tails according to your situation. Crochet the 5th round downward. Continue from the previous yarn tail. Make 3 beginning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. Then pick up the chain spaces to the left. Work a half double crochet. Mark the stitch of the half double crochet. Then crochet 3 chain spaces. In the same space, crochet 1 treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the space. Yarn over and pull through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. 3 loops remaining. Continue yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remaining. Yarn over and draw through the remaining loops in once. Complete the treble crochet. Then crochet 3 chain spaces. Next, crochet a cluster of half double crochet and double crochet. First, insert into the same space. Work an incomplete half double crochet. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. 3 loops on the hook. This is an incomplete half double crochet. Insert into the adjacent slip stitch braid without tightening. Work an incomplete double crochet. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. This is an incomplete double crochet. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the cluster of half double crochet and double crochet. Chain 1 interval. Then work the cluster of double crochet and half double crochet. First, insert into the same slip stitch position. Work an incomplete double crochet. Then insert into the left chain space. Work an incomplete half double crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the cluster of double crochet and half double crochet. Continue with 3 chain stitches afterward. Then insert into the same chain space. Work 1 treble crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Insert and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops sequentially. Repeat 3 times. Once. twice, 3 times. Complete the treble crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. Then insert into the same chain space, and the left side. Do not tighten the slip stitch braid. Work the cluster of half double crochet and double crochet. First insert into the space to make an incomplete half double crochet. Then insert at the slip stitch to make an incomplete double crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the cluster of half double crochet and double crochet. I consider the position of the treble crochet, the chain stitches on both sides, and the clusters on both sides, as one pattern. Repeat for this round. Then repeat this pattern set. Let me demonstrate again. There is one chain stitch space between each pattern. First work 1 chain stitch. Then pick up the slip stitch position, and the left side chain space. Work a cluster of double crochet and half double crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. 1 treble crochet. 3 chain stitches. Then work a cluster of half double crochet and double crochet. Another pattern repeat completed. Continue crocheting downward. Refer to the previous steps and the chart for details. Finish the last pattern. Repeat. Continue with 1 chain stitch. Pick up the marked position on the previous round, and join with a slip stitch. Tighten the slip stitch that connects the beginning and ending of this round. I won't go into details for the following steps. Round 5 is completed. Cut the yarn. Now work round 6. Attach yarn at the marked position from the previous round. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then pick up the left chain space. Work 4 single crochets. Completed the first stitch. Mark the stitch. Pick up the adjacent treble crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet. One chain. Work another single crochet in the same position. Pick up the adjacent chain space. Work 4 single crochets. Pick up the 2 stitches together and the chain space between them. Work 3 single crochets together. First, pick up the adjacent stitch. Incomplete single crochet. Insert. If you can't find the position here, you can also work into the chain space. Yarn over and pull through. This is the incomplete single crochet. Continue to pick up the chain space to the left for incomplete single crochet. Then pick up the stitch on the left for incomplete single crochet. Now you have worked 3 incomplete single crochets. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete 3 single crochets together. When you encounter a 3 chain space later, correspondingly make 4 single crochets. When you reach the treble crochet position, pick up the stitch and work a single crochet. 1 chain stitch, 1 single crochet. 3 chain space. Correspondingly make 4 single crochets. Next is the cluster position. Pick up the 2 cluster stitches and the middle chain space. Work 3 single crochets together. First, work 3 incomplete single crochets separately. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the 3 single crochets together. Consider the single crochet left of the previous cluster to this cluster position as a group. Then repeat this group method for crocheting. Refer to the chart for details. Here the last group's 3 single crochets together. Pick the ending cluster, chain space, and left stitch position for crocheting. After completing, pick the starting marker position, and join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The 6th round is complete. Cut the yarn. Next, crochet the 7th round. On the previous round, attach yarn in any chain space. Which is above the treble crochet. Insert the hook between the 2 single crochets. Then work 9 chain stitches. Then pick the left side chain space. Work 1 slip stitch without tightening. After completing, continue with 9 chain stitches. The following are all in the chain space. Work slip stitches without tightening, separated by 9 chain stitches. Complete the last 9 chain stitches. Pick down to the starting joining position. Pick the same space where you joined the yarn. Work 1 slip stitch without tightening. The 7th round is now complete. Next, work the 8th round. First, make 2 beginning chains. This round needs to finish by joining with a slip stitch in the 2nd chain of the beginning chain. So we mark the 2nd stitch. Then pick the large space of the 9 chains on the left side, work 11 half double crochets. Crochet and weave in ends as you go. Make sure the stitch pattern is even here. You can adjust by gently pulling after finishing. Check the stitch count once completed. When encountering a slip stitch that shouldn't be tightened later, pick its loop and work 1 half double crochet correspondingly. For the chain space, work 11 half double crochets. Continue crocheting using this method afterward. Join with a slip stitch at the marked position when done. Pull tight. The 8th round is complete. Cut the yarn. Now you can refer to the chart for reference. Check the fabric dimensions against the pattern. If the dimensions differ significantly, it's recommended to adjust your tension, or switch hook sizes and restart crocheting. Work the 9th round downward. Locate the starting point of this round on the chart. It's at the 6th to last stitch of the previous round. Insert the hook into the stitch and join the yarn. Then crochet 14 chain stitches. Next, skip 11 stitches to the left. Pick up 1 stitch position, crochet 1 slip stitch without tightening. Then crochet 14 chain stitches. Skip 11 stitches. Crochet a slip stitch without tightening. Afterwards, skip 11 stitches each time. Crochet 1 slip stitch without tightening, with 14 chain stitches between them. Continue crocheting downward. Finish the last 14 chain stitches. Skip 11 stitches. Reach the position to join the yarn. Correspondingly make 1 slip stitch without tightening. The 9th round is completed. Now crochet the 10th round. First pick up the chain space on the left. Crochet 1 slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then make 2 chain stitches as beginning chain. Follow the chart for the rest. At the stitch where a slip stitch is needed at the end of the round, correspondingly mark the stitch. The stitch pattern texture is quite visible in my work here, so I won't mark it. Continue to pick up chain spaces, and crochet 6 half double crochets. Then crochet 1 double crochet, 7 half double crochets. Next, crochet 3 half double crochets together. First pick up the current space, crochet an incomplete half double crochet. Then pick up the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch on the left, crochet an incomplete half double crochet. Then pick up the left chain space, crochet an incomplete half double crochet. There are 7 loops on the hook now. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the half double crochets, 3 together. Continue to pick up the left chain space below. Crochet 7 half double crochets. One double crochet, 7 half double crochets. Then pick up the slip stitch position without tightening, and the left and right chain spaces. Crochet half double crochets 3 together. First crochet incomplete half double crochets separately. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the half double crochets 3 together. Consider the area from the left side of the previous cluster to this cluster position as a group. Then repeat this group method for crocheting. Refer to the chart for details. For the last group here, the half double crochets, 3 together. Pick the last chain space. Left slip stitch position. Insert hook into left chain space and crochet. Finally join with a slip stitch at the beginning chain position. If no marker was placed earlier, locate the stitch of the first half double crochet. The braid on its right side is the beginning chain. At the second chain, pick the center space and insert hook. Crochet as instructed. Pull tight after completing. Round 10 completed. Move on to round 11. First, pick up the adjacent stitch to the left. Work one slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then make one beginning chain to start. Correspondingly, make one single crochet. After that, pick up the stitch to the left. Work 4 single crochets evenly. Make 1 half double crochet in the adjacent position. 1 double crochet. After completing, pick up the stitch to the left. Work 1 double crochet. 1 chain. Continue to work 1 treble crochet in the same position. 1 chain and 1 double crochet. Then pick up the left side stitch. Make 1 double crochet in one position. 1 half double crochet. Continue picking up stitches afterward. Work 5 single crochets evenly. Then work 3 single crochets together. Consider the starting single crochet to this cluster position as a group. After that, repeat this group method for crocheting. You can also refer to the chart for details. For the last group here, work 3 single crochets together. Pick up the last 2 stitches and the beginning chain position of the previous round. When inserting into the beginning chain here, pick up the same position as the previous slip stitch. If you really can't find the position, just pick a roughly corresponding position. Crochet accordingly. After completing, at the first stitch position, pick up a stitch and join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 11 is completed. Cut the yarn. Move down to crochet round 12. Join the yarn into any treble crochet stitch of the previous round. Then make 3 beginning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. Pay attention to mark the corresponding position. If you can easily find the slip stitch insertion point, you don't need to mark it later. Then work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. That means making 2 double crochets in one stitch. One stitch. 2 stitches. Complete the double crochet increase, then chain 1 space. Skip 3 stitches to the left, including the chain stitch position. Pick up 1 stitch. Work DC3 in 1. Chain 1 space. Skip 3 stitches to the left. Work DC3 in 1. Skip 3 stitches directly. Work DC3 in 1. Then chain 1. Skip 3 stitches. Work DC3 in 1. Chain 1 space. Skip 3 stitches. At the treble crochet position. Correspondingly make DC3 in 1. Two chain stitches. Continue working DC3 in 1 at the same position. Then chain 1 space. From the first DC3 in 1 position. Consider this chain space as a group. Then repeat this group method for crocheting, while the fabric forms this raised and recessed texture. The recessed position. Between 2 DC3 in 1. No chain stitches. The raised position. 2 DC3 in 1 worked at 1 position. 2 chain stitches space in between. Skip 3 stitches at other positions. Work a DC3 in 1. 1 chain stitch space between. Refer to previous steps and the chart below. Continue crocheting downward. Crochet until the starting position. Pick up the joining yarn here. Make a DC3 in 1. Then work 2 chain stitches space. Next slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. Round 12 completed. Move on to round 13. Start by inserting the hook into the chain space on the right side. Here we can first turn to the wrong side of the fabric. Pick up the chain space to the left with a slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then turn back to the right side. Chain 3 as beginning chains. Work 2 double crochets in the same space. Then work 1 chain stitch space. Pick up the chain space below. Correspondingly make DC 3 in 1. One chain stitch space. Pick up the adjacent space to make DC 3 in 1. When reaching the indented position, down to 2 consecutive DC 3 in 1 sections. No need to work chain stitch spaces here. Pick up the gap between these 2 stitches. Work 2 double crochets. Then directly pick up the chain space on the left side. Work DC 3 in 1. Then work 1 chain stitch space. Continue picking up the adjacent space to make DC 3 in 1. One chain stitch. Pick down 2 chain spaces. Work 2 DC 3 in 1. 2 chain stitches between them. The indented position going backward. Pick up the gap between stitches to work 2 double crochets. Make DC 3 in 1 in 2 adjacent spaces. No chain stitch space between them. The remaining 1 chain stitch space. Correspondingly make DC 3 in 1. 1 chain stitch space between them. The raised position. Pick up the top chain space. Work 2 DC 3 in 1. 2 chain stitches between them. Continue crocheting with this method. Refer to the chart for details. Reached the starting chain space. Correspondingly make DC 3 in 1. Two chain stitches between them. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain, which is the 3rd chain stitch of the beginning chain. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 13 completed. Next rounds 14-15. Crochet method identical to the previous round. The insertion is slightly different. These 2 rounds don't require color changes. Start on the wrong side. Pick adjacent chain spaces to crochet slip stitches carrying the yarn along. Then flip to the right side, and crochet from right to left. Finish by joining with a slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain and pull tight. Please refer to the chart. Complete these 2 rounds. After completing round 15, cut the yarn. After completion, crochet round 16. Refer to the chart for this round. Join the yarn at the corresponding position of the beginning chain. Then make 3 beginning chains. Pick up stitches, and chain spaces correspondingly to crochet. Continue crocheting until before the double crochet decrease position on the chart. When reaching the corresponding position, here pick up 2 stitches on the left side, work incomplete double crochets for each. 1, 2. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the double crochet decrease. The rest continue to crochet according to the chart. Finish the last stitch. Hook into the top of the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 16 is completed. Move on to round 17. First make 3 beginning chains. Then pick up stitches on the left side, crochet according to the chart until the diagram, before the double crochet 3 stitches together position. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up 3 stitches on the left side. Work incomplete double crochets for each. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the double crochet 3 stitches together. The rest continue to crochet according to the chart. Finish the last stitch. Hook into the top of the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 17 is completed. Next crochet round 18. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet in the same position. After that crochet according to the chart on the left. Finish the last stitch. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. Round 18 is completed. Cut the yarn. Next crochet round 19. Join the yarn in the last stitch of the previous round. Then work a special treble crochet 2 together bobble stitch. Chain 4 to start this round. Then hook into the same position for an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops twice. Repeat twice. Once. Twice. 2 loops remain. This is an incomplete treble crochet. Skip 6 stitches to the left. Pick up the left side stitch. Work 2 incomplete treble crochets. One. 2. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the special treble crochet 2 bobble stitch cluster. Work 5 chains as a bridge. Then work the regular treble crochet 2 bobble stitch cluster. First pick up the previous cluster, ending stitch position. Work 2 incomplete treble crochets. Then skip 5 stitches to the left. Pick up 1 stitch on the left side, and work 2 incomplete treble crochets. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. Complete the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch cluster. Continue with 5 chains as a bridge. Then pick up the ending position of the previous cluster and the top stitch of the left long stitch. Work the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch cluster. After completing, work 5 chains as a bridge. Next at the long stitch position, work the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch. First work 2 incomplete treble crochets. Finally yarn over and draw through in once. Complete the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch. Continue crocheting downward following the chart. Here between the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch clusters. Beginning and ending connected. While the indented position. Chains between clusters vary. When encountering long stitch position, need to work the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch. Refer to the chart for details. Continue crocheting downward. Finish the last 3 chain stitches. Pick up the stitch next to the beginning chain cluster downward. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 19 completed. Move on to round 20. First pick up the chain space to the left. Work 1 slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then make 3 beginning chains. Work 4 double crochets in the same chain space. Then pick up the stitch of the cluster to the left. Work 1 double crochet. Work 5 double crochets in the next chain space. Pick up the stitch at the cluster position, and work 1 double crochet. The chain space of 5 chains. Correspondingly work 5 double crochets. When encountering the treble crochet 2 bobble stitch position, pick up its stitch and work 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 treble crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. Refer to the chart for corresponding crocheting afterwards. The final double crochet 3 stitches together. Finish the ending incomplete stitch in the stitch of the left side special cluster. Continue to complete the cluster. Finally hook into the top of the beginning chain, and work a slip stitch to join. Pull tight. Round 20 completed. Continue to crochet round 21. First pick up stitches to the left. Work 1 slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Afterwards refer to the chart for crocheting. Here the final single crochet 3 stitches together. The last incomplete stitch. Pick up the beginning chain of the previous round. Insert the hook into the position for slip stitch. Continue crocheting. Finally pick up the stitch of the starting single crochet, and join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 21 completed. Cut the yarn. Next work round 22. On the 4th stitch of the previous round, pick up stitches, and insert to attach yarn. Then chain 4 to start this round. These 4 chains count as 1 treble crochet, then work 1 chain space. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 1 treble crochet. One chain space. Skip 1 stitch each time afterward. Work 1 treble crochet with 1 chain space between them. Continue crocheting until reaching the centered chain space at the top. Now at the corresponding position, work 3 chain spaces downward. Then pick up the chain space. Crochet 1 double treble crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times. Insert into the space. Yarn over and pull through. Now there are 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops repeatedly. Repeat 4 times. 1 time. 2 times. 3 times. 4 times. Complete the double treble crochet. Continue crocheting according to the chart. Keep working until the treble crochet decrease position on the diagram. When you reach the corresponding position, skip 1 stitch downward. Work an incomplete treble crochet. Then skip 3 stitches. Work an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the treble crochet decrease. The raised position. Work a double treble crochet in the centered chain space. The recessed position. Centered, skip 3 stitches. Work a treble crochet decrease by inserting the hook on both sides. For the remaining positions, correspondingly make treble crochets and 1 chain stitch. Repeat this process and continue crocheting downward. Refer to the chart for details. Complete the last treble crochet decrease. Continue with 1 chain stitch. Then at the top of the beginning chain, this is the position of the 4th chain stitch. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 22 completed. For rounds 23-37. No new stitch techniques or methods appear. Refer directly to the chart. Combine with the color chart. Crochet accordingly. After completion, work round 38. Here I'll demonstrate the method using this swatch. First, refer to the chart. Attach yarn to the corresponding single crochet. Then crochet 8 chain stitches between them. Skip 7 stitches to the left. Pick up the adjacent stitch and make a slip stitch. All slip stitches in this round are not to tighten. Then crochet 8 chain stitches. Go back. Pick the second chain stitch counting from right to left. Make 1 slip stitch. Continue to crochet 6 slip stitches evenly. After completion, pick the adjacent stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. On the left side, crochet 1 more slip stitch. Then crochet 8 chain stitches between them. Skip 7 stitches underneath. Work 3 slip stitches evenly. 8 chain stitches between them. Skip 7 stitches. Make 1 slip stitch. Then crochet 8 chain stitches. Go back and start from the second chain stitch counting from right to left. Work 7 slip stitches evenly. Slip stitch into the stitch below. On the left side, crochet 1 more slip stitch. Continue crocheting according to the chart from now on. When reaching the starting join yarn point, pick up the same stitch and work a slip stitch. Here the slip stitch doesn't need to be tightened. This completes round 38. Continue to round 39. First pick up the chain space to the left, work 1 slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then make 1 chain as the beginning chain. Pick up the large chain space, work 1 single crochet. 9 half double crochets. Continue with 1 single crochet in the same place. Then pick up on the left side. Pick up the adjacent slip stitch position. Work 1 slip stitch. Next pick up the raised chain stitch to the left. Pick up the right side of the chain stitch at this moment, which is actually the insertion point of the previous slip stitch. The remaining half of the chain. Start from the bottom chain stitch. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Then work 1 half double crochet in each stitch. 1 double crochet. 2 treble crochets. Two double crochets. Reaching the top, pick up the 2 strands near the edge. Insert the hook and work 3 half double crochets. Next work a Ch1 picket. From now on, I'll simply call it a picket. First, work 1 chain stitch. Then pick up the stitch of the half double crochet below. Pick up the front strand and the 2 strands on the left. Altogether, pick up these 3 strands. Work 1 slip stitch. Complete the picket. Then pick up the same position below. Continue to work 2 half double crochets. After that, pick up and crochet on the other side. Here you can pick up the chain formed by the slip stitch, or pick up its insertion point. Work 2 double crochets correspondingly. Two treble crochets. One double crochet, 1 half double crochet. One single crochet. Then pick up the slip stitch position below. Work 1 slip stitch. I will join the first and last slip stitches with the crocheted stitches in between. Consider it as a leaf. Next, pick up the large chain space on the left side. Crochet 1 single crochet. 9 half double crochets. One single crochet. The positions of 3 adjacent slip stitches. Pick the centered slip stitch position. Make 1 slip stitch. For slip stitches in this round without special instructions, do not tighten them. Continue picking up the chain space on the left side. Crochet 1 single crochet, 9 half double crochets. One single crochet. Start crocheting the leaf downward. First, pick the adjacent position and make 1 slip stitch. Then pick the raised chain stitch position. Pick the corresponding position on the right side, and crochet 1 single crochet. 1 half double crochet. One double crochet, 2 treble crochets. Two double crochets. Crochet 3 half double crochets at the top. One picket. Two half double crochets. Then pick the other side and correspondingly make 2 double crochets. Two treble crochets. One double crochet, 1 half double crochet. One single crochet. Slip stitch into the slip stitch position below. The leaf is completed. From now on, please refer to the chart for further crocheting. Complete the stitch in the last chain space. Pick up the first single crochet stitch, and join with a slip stitch. If you want a neater edge here, you can finish off. I'll demonstrate the method. First, enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Then count 2 stitches to the left from the insertion point of the slip stitch. Insert from the back of the corresponding stitch. Draw the yarn through. Find the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch. Insert into the center from the back. Pull the yarn through. Adjust slightly. Then secure with one chain stitch on the wrong side. Pick up any strand on the wrong side. Gently pull to tighten after completion. Hide the remaining yarn tails on the wrong side. This completes round 39. The main part of the blanket is now finished. Next, crochet the decorations. It consists of 2 layers of hexagonal stars. Insert the hook at corresponding positions on the main part. Sew the back of the fabric to the main part after completion. First crochet the first layer. One new stitch technique is used. Tr5 bobble. Watch my demonstration. I'll demonstrate using this small sample. First locate round 8 of the main part. That's where half double crochets were worked. Refer to the chart to find the beginning position of this round. Insert the hook into corresponding stitches to join yarn. Then work 16 chain stitches. Next locate the main part. The top left fabric area, where it dips downward. On round 14. Left side of 2 consecutive double crochets. Pick up the chain space. Work a slip stitch to secure. Then continue with 16 chain stitches. Next locate round 8 of the main part. Starting from 1 stitch left of the joining position, count 15 stitches. Work a slip stitch on the stitch to the left. Then continue with 16 chain stitches. Find the top left area, where the fabric bulges upward. On round 13 of the main part, at the peak of the bulge, pick up the chain space and work a slip stitch. Then work 16 chain stitches. Refer to the chart to locate round 8 of the main part. Work a slip stitch corresponding to 1 stitch. (16 chain stitches). Find the top left area, where the fabric dips inward. On round 14 of the main part, work a slip stitch in the right side space of 2 consecutive double crochets. (16 chain stitches). Work a slip stitch at the corresponding position, on round 8 of the main part. (16 chain stitches). On the left side, In the dipped area. On round 14 of the main part, in the left chain space of 2 consecutive double crochets. Work a slip stitch. 16 chain stitches. Work a slip stitch at the corresponding position, on round 8 of the main part. (16 chain stitches). On the left side in the raised area, pick up the center space of round 13, and work a slip stitch. (16 chain stitches). Pick up round 8 of the main part, and work a slip stitch. (16 chain stitches). On the upper left side on round 14. Work a slip stitch in the right side space of 2 consecutive double crochets. (16 chain stitches). Work a slip stitch downward at the joining yarn spot. The first round is completed. After finishing, lay the fabric flat. Check the positions of the 6 corners. Make sure they correspond to the positions marked on the chart. Continue to crochet round 2 if everything is correct. First, pick up the space to the left, and work a slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Then pick up the spaces and V-shaped loops of the previous round. Continue working the corresponding stitches. Pay attention not to crochet into the main part. Follow the chart to complete this round. After finishing, crochet round 3. All stitches are worked into the stitches from the previous round. Or insert the hook into chain spaces to crochet. First refer to the chart. Crochet up to before the TR5 bobble stitch shown in the diagram. My swatch has already reached the corresponding position here. Pick up the 5th chain stitch counting from right to left downward. Work 5 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through in once. The fabric slightly protrudes forward. Complete the TR5 bobble stitch. Pick up round 17 of the main part downward. Secure with a slip stitch at the center of the protruding top. Then crochet 4 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the bobble stitch position, and crochet a slip stitch. Then correspondingly crochet 4 slip stitches downward. Next, pick up both strands of the double crochet below and crochet a slip stitch. The remaining part, continue crocheting following the chart. There's another bobble stitch position downward. Crochet using this method. Complete the last stitch. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. At this point, round 3 is completed. Meanwhile, the first layer is finished. Now explaining the second layer. The method is the same as the first layer. When crocheting round 1 here, work above the first layer. Insert the hook into the corresponding position of the main part. The first layer always stays underneath. During round 3, secure the bobble stitch position. Everyone refer to the chart. Complete crocheting the second layer. After completion, sew together and secure the 2 layers of fabric. Position the fabric correctly. Here the 2 hexagon stars overlap. Lay the fabric flat. Then take the raised position of the hexagon star and match it roughly with the corresponding position on the main part. Place a marker to secure it. Everyone complete this step on their own. After securing, check the effect. The securing spots for each corner's raised part should be almost symmetrical. Once the effect fits properly, start sewing downward. First take the same color yarn used for crocheting in this area. For convenient watching, I'll demonstrate using another color. Take about 50 centimeters of yarn and thread the needle. Then start from any secured position. Pick up the back of the main part and the decoration. Insert the hook into the roughly corresponding position. Leave a little yarn tail at the beginning. When sewing here, the sewing marks should be on the wrong side. Pull the thread to the back. Downward, you only need to secure the overlapping 2 layers and the top position. You can also find a center point between the top and the overlapping area to secure it. The position and effect of securing can be adjusted according to your preference. When carrying the yarn, bring it from the wrong side of the fabric to the position that needs securing. Pay attention to keep the fabric flat. When reaching the overlapping position, pick up and secure between the 2 layers here. At the same time, secure it to the main part. I'll continue to demonstrate a section of the securing method below. Repeat this process. And continue securing downward, below the puff stitch here. The bottom of the chain stitch also needs to be secured. When the yarn runs out during sewing, you can thread it to the wrong side. Then take a new piece of yarn. At the position close to the fabric on the wrong side, tie a knot to secure the two yarn tails together. Leave the yarn tails untrimmed for now, then hide them inside the fabric. Continue sewing downward. Repeat this process until you reach the starting position. Once you reach the starting position, tie a knot to secure the ending yarn tail with the beginning yarn tail, then hide the yarn tails inside the fabric. Complete this part on your own. That concludes the decoration section.